Welcome everyone, join us today as we explore the life and legacy of Judie Tzuke, the acclaimed songwriter and singer whose timeless hit, Stay With Me Till Dawn, made her one of Britain's most emotionally distinctive voices. So let's dive in. Judie Tzuke, born Judie Myers on the 3rd of April 1956, in London, England, United Kingdom. Born the daughter of mother English actress Jean Silverside and father, Polish-Jewish property developer and impresario Sefton Myers. Her father's family had emigrated from Poland to Britain in the 1920s, changing their surname from Tzuke to Myers, to assimilate in Yorkshire, a decision Judie later quietly reversed by reclaiming Tzuke as her professional name. From childhood she grew up in a household where the arts were normal life, with her mother appearing in British film and television comedies, such as The Marty Feldman Show and The Goodies, while her father not only built a successful Park Lane property portfolio, but also managed artists and supported the young Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice, as they developed Jesus Christ Superstar. Educated in visual and performing arts, Judie gravitated to music as a teenager and began performing in London folk clubs around the age of 15, testing her poetry she made into songs, in front of small attentive audiences. In 1975 she met guitarist and producer Mike Paxman, a partnership that quickly became both creative and strategic. As the duo Tzuke and Paxo, they secured their first recording contract and released the single, These Are the Laws, produced by Tony Visconti, giving her the first taste of professional studios and label expectations. Judie's decision to work under her family's original name, Tzuke, was more than a stylistic choice. It signaled a desire to stand apart in a crowded singer-songwriter field, while also reflecting her family background. By the mid-1970s she had accumulated enough material and experience to push beyond the folk circuit, setting her sights on a fully-fledged recording career. Judie's true breakthrough came when she signed as a solo artist to Elton John's label, the Rocket Record Company, in 1977, joining a roster designed to spotlight distinctive British voices. Her first Rocket single, For You, appeared in 1978, but it was the following year's Stay With Me Till Dawn, co-written with Paxman, that transformed her from promising newcomer to chart name. Reaching number 16 in the UK, number 8 in Australia, number 47 in the US, and later being voted among the 50 greatest British songs of the 1952 to 2002 era. The hit anchored her debut album Welcome to the Cruise, which itself charted in the UK Top 20 and established Judie as a serious album artist rather than a one-single sensation. She toured extensively, including as Elton John's support on a major North American run, that culminated in a vast free concert at New York's Central Park in 1980, where she sang in front of an enormous crowd estimated at around 400,000 people, an exhilarating but daunting test of her composure on one of the biggest stages imaginable. Her second album Sportscar, in 1980, actually charted higher than the debut, reaching number 7 in the UK, and both Welcome to the Cruise and Sportscar achieved gold certification. A third Rocket album, I Am the Phoenix, in 1981, also made the UK Top 20, rounding off an initial trilogy that presented Judie as a modern, radio-friendly songwriter with a distinctive, emotionally cool vocal style. Yet the momentum brought new pressures. After leaving Rocket, she signed to Chrysalis Records and released Shoot the Moon in 1982, which returned her to the UK Top 20 but also marked the beginning of a period in which label changes, marketing missteps and shifting pop fashions would repeatedly undermine her commercial visibility. Even so, she mounted an ambitious 57-date UK tour that year, headlining Glastonbury Festival, and issuing the double live album Road Noise, the official bootleg, evidence of a performer whose live following remained strong even as radio support became less predictable. A compilation The Best of Judie Tzuke emerged in 1983, followed later that year by Ritmo, an album that experimented with a more electronic, rhythmic sound and reached number 26 in the UK, showing her willingness to adjust rather than calcify. Moving to the smaller Legacy Records, she released the single, You, in 1984, and then the 1985 album The Cat Is Out, recorded largely at home. Although its singles charted modestly, the project underscored her growing instinct to take control of her recording environment. In 1987 she signed to Polydor, juggling major label expectations with a major life event, the birth in June 1987 of her first daughter, Bailey, coinciding with work on what became the album Turning Stones, released in 1989, and preceded by the single, We'll Go Dreaming. Her second daughter Tallulah was born in 1994, and by then Judie was balancing writing, recording and touring with the demands of raising a young family, a tension that added extra emotional layer to the reflective, adult tone of her 1990s material. Despite only modest chart positions, Turning Stones, and its successes, would supply songs that remained central to her live repertoire for years, further consolidating her identity as an album-oriented artist, whose work rewarded close listening. Another move, this time to Columbia Records, led to the early 1990s releases Left Hand Talking, in 1991, and the single, Outlaws, plus a reinterpretation of the Beach Boys', God Only Knows, that featured in a television documentary about studio production. By 1992 she had migrated again, issuing Wonderland, on Essential Records. Though the album did not chart, it included high-profile musical guests such as Brian May and Nigel Kennedy, demonstrating the respect she commanded among fellow musicians. By the mid-1990s, Judie chose a decisive break from the big label carousel, founding her own imprint Big Moon Records, and releasing Under the Angels in 1996, as her 10th studio album. A live album, Over the Moon, captured the subsequent tour, and signaled a new era in which she could shape her recording schedule, artwork and touring plans, without external approval, even if that meant working with tighter budgets. Her 11th album Secret Agent followed in 1998, with Radio 2's Bob Harris later including its track, Tonight, on one of his curated compilations, giving the record a second life among discerning listeners. In 2000 she regained rights to her classic Rocket albums, and reissued them via Big Moon, an act of both archival care and financial pragmatism that also supported the Phoenix Tour, named in honor of I Am the Phoenix, and led to further live and studio sets including 6 Days Before the Flood, in 2000, and Queen's Secret Keeper, in 2001. The early 2000s brought The Beauty of Hindsight, in 2003, a covers album that let her pay tribute to songs that had shaped her, followed by tours culminating in shows at venues like London's Bush Hall and Cabot Hall, Canary Wharf. Never content to lean solely on past material, she continued to write and record, issuing The End of the Beginning, in 2004, and then the more intimate project Songs 1, in 2007, and Songs 2, in 2008, which framed her as a seasoned writer exploring quieter, more reflective arrangements rather than chasing chart trends. Alongside her solo work, Judie co-wrote 4 tracks with Morcheeba for their 2008 album Dive Deep, appearing as vocalist on 2 songs, and subtly introducing her voice to a new generation of listeners in a contemporary downtempo context. In 2010 she marked 3 decades of recording, with the double album Moon on a Mirror Ball, released through RAS Records, which also reissued her Big Moon back catalogue, and supported a tour, documented on the live release October Road in 2011. Her contribution to the 2011 John Martin tribute album Johnny Boy Would Love This, a version of Hurt in Your Heart, showed a singer attuned to the emotional grain of other writers' work, extending her legacy beyond her own catalogue. However, plans for a new studio album titled Woman Overboard were interrupted when she was diagnosed with early-stage uterine cancer in 2013. The illness was detected quickly and successfully treated, allowing her to make a full recovery, and continue her work without long-term interruption. Throughout her career, Judie has spoken openly about living with depression and anxiety, conditions that at times affected her confidence, and contributed to periods of severe stage fright, making touring emotionally challenging, even when audiences and critics were strongly supportive. Despite this, her love and commitment to music has remained constant, sustaining her through those difficulties, and shaping the emotional honesty and depth that increasingly defines her later work. On a personal note, Judie's long-term creative and personal partner has been musician and producer Paul Muggleton, with whom she has written, recorded and toured with over many years, making the Tzuke-Muggleton partnership central to both her studio sound and her independent career structure. Their daughters Bailey and Tallulah have both contributed backing vocals to their mother's recordings and live performances, with Bailey also pursuing a solo career, making Judie's band a genuinely multi-generational family project, mirroring the artistic household in which she herself was raised. Alongside family life, Judie's later career activity has remained prolific, with albums such as One Tree Less, in 2011, Song Club, in 2013, Song Club 2, in 2014, and Peace Has Broken Out, in 2017, revealing a writer still interested in the emotional nuance of relationships, memory and survival rather than nostalgia alone. The collaborative woman-to-woman release and tour with Beverly Craven and Julia Fordham brought her to larger stages again, placing her work in a shared spotlight with her contemporaries. In 2023 she issued Jude the Unsinkable, the title itself a wry, defiant nod to her reputation for writing out both industry indifference and personal storms, without losing the core of her artistic identity. Today, Judie still remains actively writing, recording and performing, adding fresh chapters to a body of work that now spans more than 4 decades, and more than 20 studio albums. In late 2025 she added to her legacy, with the studio album Now or Never, released on her own imprint, and made available on CD, vinyl and digital download, primarily through her official website, underlining her continued commitment to a direct artist-to-audience relationship. And there you have it. Decades after Stay With Me Till Dawn, Judie Tzuke's journey stands as a testament to resilience, reinvention, and songwriting that continues to touch listeners across generations, sustained by the enduring power of her music and the love of her fans. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos on your favorite artists, just like this. Take care and bye for now.